From the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
If you've been arrested for DUI, you need a team of attorneys into whom you can place your trust. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today, online at reynoldsdefensefirm.com. First on The Fan, round two of the 107th PGA Championship from Quail Hollow in Charlotte. And first-round leader Jonathan Vegas just finished his second round. He had a double bogey on 18. That leaves him 1 under on the day. 8 under overall. He is 2 strokes clear of Matthew Pavone and Ryo Hisatsuni, who are at 6 under par. Max Homa, Luke Donald, and Alex Smalley are all at 5 under par. Other names of note, Scotty Scheffler, 3 under par. Keegan Bradley, 2 under. And former Oregon Duck Wyndham Clark is 1 under overall after a 2 under 69. One game in the NBA playoffs this evening, Game 6 at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks can put away the Celtics. That's a 5 o'clock tip on ESPN. The Knicks are 2.5-point favorites. Coming up on Sunday, Game 7 of the Nuggets and Thunder in Oklahoma City, 12:30 tip on ABC. We'll have coverage right here on The Fan starting at noon. The Thunder are 7.5-point favorites. And on the diamond, the Mariners have lost 5 of their last 6. They start a 10-game road trip with 3 in San Diego against the Friars. Logan Evans starting for Seattle. Stephen Kolek for San Diego. 6:40 first pitch on Apple TV+. Mariners clinging to a half-game lead over the Rangers in the AL West. Those Rangers host the Astros, who are a game and a half out of the lead. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
It's back. The 11th annual Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms Golf Club happens Tuesday, June 24th. Presented by your local Toyota dealers. Reserve your foursome now at 1080thefan.com. It's time to tee off with Danny and Dusty.
I had 5 birdie chances, and I didn't sink a single one.
Wait, you had 5 birdie opportunities and shot 100, and you're claiming at only 1 blow-up hole? Would you shoot a 50 on that hole?
It's PGA Championship Week with Danny and Dusty.
Brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club, the best course in the Northwest for year-round golf. Book your tee time at langdonfarms.com.
Danny and Dusty on 1080 The Fan.
Good afternoon! Hey, welcome in. Happy Friday. Look at that. We made it. We made it to the end of the work week. We're there. Cue the text. We have, 5-second delay? 3, 2, 1. Somebody's going to say, this is my Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know?
What you mean, man?
For most of us, it's Friday.
Yeah.
It's Friday. I've got my 5K that I have to run tomorrow.
Oh, is that for
my buddy's birthday?
Yeah.
I can make it. I'll make it.
Are we finishing last?
I don't know. No,
Run
because
through
when
the
I
rocks
say
in your head.
everybody's has to run, like wives included.
Oh, but
Yeah.
you have uber competitive wife though.
Oh, she's gonna crush me. Yeah, she runs all the time.
Yeah.
Like my whole thing was like I just got to get to a point where I got to make it. I got to make it through this thing.
Is this going to be a run, or is this a jog?
I don't know. It's at 4,400 feet.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where the hell is this at?
Sun River.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Are you bringing the little oxygen bottles?
No. You just have them attached to my hip.
Yeah.
I'll be power walking.
Have you seen those that you can buy them in Denver now?
Yeah,
The
you can
little
get them
like compressed oxygen.
You
things?
can get them at Dick's.
Yeah.
In
Really?
Portland.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they got those things around. I don't know why, but they got them here.
It helps with altitude sickness.
Sure. Yeah. So I don't know how this is going to go.
It's going to sap everyone's soul.
But I can do it. I can do it. I can make it.
People are going to get super lightheaded.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that is.
They have no idea. Like, unless you're already up there, like unless you've been working out in higher altitudes, it's going to be like, oh boy, why is it so hard to breathe?
Look, I just hope that old Jerky McJerkface, whose birthday it is not
stubs his toe.
No, I know him. I know him, and he knows his friends. I bet there, and I asked him. I said, "How many hills are in this thing?" He's gonna make this thing hard. I know he is. This is how he is wired, and he's like, oh, no, not very many. And I was like, that was not reassuring to me.
Do you not have like the pathing yet?
No, I have. He mapped it out.
But does everybody else have it?
No.
Oh, so it's a surprise.
Yeah, and I was like, I am not flying blind into this thing. I'm gonna make sure I know what I'm staring down. I guarantee you, it's uphill both ways because what we have is he was like, it's just like a 1 mile loop that we're just gonna run like 3 times. I was like, that seems fair enough. I bet there's a hill on both sides. Like every half mile, there's a hill that I'm gonna have to climb.
Sun River notoriously flat.
Yeah, so. My death is imminent.
Run for fun?
Yeah, who does that? That's Back to the Future Part 3.
Yes.
Run for fun.
Yeah, because remember, think about that. Like,
who the hell does that?
Running was not a thing until like the 70s.
Yeah, Anchorman. Yogging. I believe it's a soft J. Yeah, it's not gonna be a run for me. It's not gonna be a run for me. I don't.
How's the weather gonna be out there? I know we got
great.
some rain.
It's gonna be like
here.
in the high 40s, low 50s.
I honestly, I prefer that to running in the heat.
Yeah.
If I have a choice, if I have to run in like 84 plus, 85 plus, that range, or 48 to 50, or that range, 48 to like 54, I'd rather take the 48 to 54.
Yeah, that's too cold for me. Like in the 60s that's your sweet spot.
Oh, it's a sweet spot. But I'm saying
spot.
like the getting out of the sweet spot, I'd rather have it be colder than warmer.
I'll just meet you both at the bar later.
I'll tell you what. There was a track meet at Chico State, and it was like 102 degrees. It was hot. Now I went for my warm-up run. I'll tell you what. I took my warm-up run through like Greek row, and the sororities were all out in their like front yards, sunbathing. It was the longest warm-up run I've ever. My head was on a swivel.
Yeah,
I was just like, what is happening here? Look at you, good for you, good for you.
Yeah.
Hey,
enjoy that while less.
Awesome. And it was I was gone for like an hour, and they're like, "Where have you been?" I was like, "Dude, I'm warm. I'm good.
People
I'm
watching
ready."
Was just great.
I just went back and forth, just a loop, cross the street, come back down. It was fantastic. Yeah. I didn't run well because I was out running like 100-degree heat, warming up. But I'll tell you what, I had a new appreciation for Chico State University.
Oh yeah,
God bless them Wildcats. Meow.
Meow.
Holy guacamole.
They are tanned.
Yeah, they were. That was fantastic. Yeah. Running in the heat sucks.
Oh,
running in the cold sucks.
I'd much rather
running in optimal conditions also.
Yeah,
sucks.
Running sucks,
dude.
Yeah, but you know what?
Doing Florida and Georgia in the summertime, I just ugh.
Yeah, not great.
PT. Look, I mean, like PT in the Middle East. Like, it's one thing about being in the Air Force. We have air conditioned workout tents.
Oh, look at you guys.
Oh yeah,
look at that.
It's big. It's like a big like.
You get to work out in your chair. Is that what?
No.
Don't they call you?
Chair
don't they
force.
make fun of you? Call you the chair force?
Yeah, no, we have like these big like. Do you know the Jewish Community Center?
I do know of the Jewish Community Center. I don't.
Middleman.
Yeah, I don't go there. Blazers used to practice there.
Yeah, but that kind of blow up bubble kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's kind of what we have.
All right,
but it's like fully air conditioned and
good for you.
Oh
guys.
yeah, are you kidding me? Every time the Army and Marines come on station, there was like, oh my God, you got it's indoor.
Yeah,
I was like air conditioned even.
Yeah,
and they have like water coolers with water in there.
Yeah, this texture here. I graduated high school in '95. I'm under no obligation to run unless I have to. Godspeed, Dusty. Yeah. See, and that was my thing. I was like, why are we doing this? I've
lost a lot of weight in the last year.
Yeah.
I just want to get back
and
to
good
the point.
for you.
Oh, yeah, but I want to get to the point where my body won't collapse when I run because my hips and knees are broken. But I want to be able to run just enough that if I have to run, I don't tear a hamstring.
Well, you know what's bothering me the most about this? I feel better.
Oh yeah, no, it sucks.
Like it. I just
sucks.
God,
and look,
just that's what makes me even more mad
Look,
about this.
I'm
Is like,
gonna gas you up a little bit here too.
God.
You'll look better.
I just
The
I
brand,
don't.
the brand man is sporting the brand. The t-shirt's getting a little tighter.
It
In a good way.
But I feel like I'm just breathing easier. I
Yeah.
feel better. It's really. I'm not happy. I'm in a tough spot.
Yeah, because
Wasn't
you're
it
like,
just
oh.
like-
Because I am happy, but I'm not.
Yeah.
And it's all because my friend is turning 40 and he's making me run a 5K. And I started running again because I was like, I just need to finish this thing. And then I know inevitably tomorrow morning when I have to run this thing, probably hungover, I am going to be like, nope, I'm not jogging. I know I'm going to run.
What time we starting?
The first mile is going to be, are you going to make it?
Well, I mean,
And
I'm saying,
then
what time are we starting in the morning?
Oh, time in the morning?
Yeah.
I think like 10.
Okay, so you're not getting the 7 o'clock nonsense.
If he
Okay.
tries that,
Gonna kill him.
I'm out. We're
Yeah.
not starting 10 Eastern time.
It wasn't too long ago you were talking about the myth of the runner's high being BS.
Yeah, that is still BS. I don't believe in that.
We going for like what, like 9-minute miles here, 8-minute miles?
Again, first one is
Make it
survival, and then we'll see where we're at after that.
There was a guy, I want to say he was here. I can't remember. He's done a couple of them. He tried to do 24 McDonald's cheeseburgers and 24 beers.
Oh, I saw
in
that.
24 miles.
Yes, he was hiking. I
Yeah.
actually watched that yesterday.
Crazy video. Like, dude has no problem with the beers.
No, his beers were done at mile 17.
Yeah.
Like it was he put down 24 beers. I was like, brother.
He's a pretty big dude too.
Yeah.
He looked like he's like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
He had I want to say like 5 hours
Mm-hmm.
because he finished the 24 miles in 19 hours, 20 hours or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then he had 5 hours to eat the rest. I think he was at 13 cheeseburgers. I think he got to 21.
Sheesh. Sheesh.
21. But if you think about it, if you walk 24 miles, you're probably burning 4,000 calories
Yeah.
or more.
Probably more. Probably more than that.
I mean,
That's a long
I'm going super conservative.
Yeah.
Just because the kcals and like what people burn and don't burn. Your Apple Watch is lying to you. But let's just say on the low side, it's probably close to damn near double that.
Mm-hmm.
How many calories in a McDonald's cheeseburger? Probably 800.
Ooh, great question.
Because they're small. They're bad for
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
And
I
they're
mean, it
loaded
was-
with salt, but they're bad for you. And they're small.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm gonna say 800 to 1,000.
Boy, you would be way off.
Yeah.
What are they?
313 calories.
Oh wow, really? So it's because they're that small.
That's downright healthy.
I mean, you have probably all of your salt for the day in one of those burgers. What's the salt percentage?
Sodium, 31% of your daily intake.
So
in
3
one-
burgers is enough for all the salt for your day.
Yeah, he's gonna get the gout.
He crushed the beers, which there's some water in beer. The amount of water you have to crush to keep from cramping at that point has just got to be obscene.
I wonder how many pee breaks he took in that 24 miles. Just think of that. You're drinking 24 beers.
Yeah, here's the crazy thing is he's got the rack on him.
Yeah.
So he's carrying 24 beers
Mm-hmm.
plus his Camelback
Yeah.
plus 24 burgers.
That's good for him.
I mean, that's and then he has all his other like hiking gear on.
That's
Like
pretty good.
that's a dude like that's peak male performance right there.
Yeah.
By the way, a McDonald's cheeseburger does also have 30% of your daily protein. So, health food.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I don't need a salad.
That dude definitely went to the poop summit afterwards.
Now here's the thing. Like Alex
Hoops on it.
Crawford just ran the LA Marathon,
Mhm.
former on-air and producer here.
Mhm.
He ran the LA Marathon in 2 hours, 42 minutes, and 30
Holy
seconds.
crap.
He averaged a 6:12 mile.
Good for you, Crawford.
Right.
That's booking.
The most incredible part about that is I cringe to think what that man is putting into his body.
Oh, yeah.
And he was still able to do that. Like,
240 is nuts, man.
yeah.
That's booking.
Yeah. Yeah. He's that That little weirdo can run.
Yeah, he can. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
And I text him that. What do you think that guy went through who did the 24-24-24 challenge the next day?
Oh, that next day had to suck. That's
Oh, he was
that's
in
where
pain.
that's where you do you can buy the packets of liquid IV. No. You do the actual liquid IV. Like you can go to like spa treatments and stuff like
No,
that.
you
and
dig
get
actually
the,
get
get
an
the
IV.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would do.
We had, I would occasionally go and get an IV in college when
Oh yeah.
very hungover. The nursing students, they weren't good at finding a vein,
But hey,
but they were willing to practice.
they practice and it's cheaper.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it. Bounce back, baby.
Because when you're that hungover, you really don't care. You're just like, just do it.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
You do feel 1,000 times better after that, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, P1 Shane, he's running a 5K tomorrow. Go get it, bud.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
Is tomorrow like the kickoff for 5K weekend? Is that kind of where we're at?
I don't know. Ours is not organized. It's
Oh,
just we're
just
just
you
doing
doing
one.
it.
He's going to one at Happy Valley. So good luck.
How many people we got?
I don't even know. 12?
Okay, so it's not a huge group.
No.
Okay.
No. I'll finish top half.
Okay.
Maybe.
Is
Or
it-
I won't even finish.
is there anybody
I'll
in
keep
this
you
group that
posted.
is like in danger of not finishing this for real?
We got 2 that are not even running.
Oh, okay.
One's got a meniscus injury. The other was like, no.
I mean,
He just said no. He's coming in from Wisconsin for this. He's like, no.
look. I'll be in the van. Maybe you could talk me in the bicycle
He's like,
alongside
yeah,
you, but
no. I'm just gonna be a hard no.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. Which I applaud that.
look, I have said it before. I have one fitness goal in life. Once I kick the rest of this weight off, it is to finish one Ironman. Not compete, not do
Just
any of that.
do it yourself.
Just do one.
See, that's dangerous. You got to do it like in an organized event.
Oh, yeah, no, that's
because you're gonna drown.
No, I'm not doing it by
like
myself.
the swim is the hardest part.
That's the thing that I'm least worried about.
Oh,
The
dude.
swim and the bike are the things that I'm least worried about because I can swim till the cows come home. I've done road bikes for a long time. The run is the thing that terrifies me of what it will do to my knees and hips.
Yeah.
Because like when you talk about the day after,
Yeah. No way.
I don't know how my body is going to recover. That's still one of the most insane things to me is the comedian Bert Kreischer.
Yeah.
Just signed up without training for the LA Marathon and did it in like I want to say in like under 4 hours.
Yeah.
Zero training. That's so insane.
That is insane.
Like that is not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those guys? What their feet look like and what their legs look like when they get done with a marathon? There's nothing left.
Yep.
It's just ugh.
Yeah. All right.
That
Well,
terrifies me.
I don't want to do it. Don't want to do it. All right, let's get this show on the road, shall we?
I guess.
It's Friday.
It is.
It's gonna get weird, and we got a game 7. We got a game, and we could have another one on Monday. Let's get to the basketballs. Basketball was fun, but where I want to start this thing off, the NBA Draft Combine is winding down.
It is.
There are some names attached to the Portland Trailblazers that I do not like, and one in particular.
Oh, okay.
At 11 that has me terrified.
Okay.
We'll get to that next. Danny and Dusty on the Fan. NBA Combine is wrapping up. Now we know the draft order after this week where, Dallas is 1, San Antonio's 2. And now there's all the mocks are starting to come out because people are trying to figure out what teams need, and the Blazers are going to be selecting 11th in the NBA draft lottery, or in the NBA draft next month. There's so many names that have been attached to the Portland Trailblazers. It's really hard to wrap your head around just because...
Well, 1 and 2 are going to be...
Nobody really knows what's going to happen after 2.
Yeah, I mean, Flag and Harper are going to go 1-2, but because the 76ers moved up to number 3, it could throw a little wrench in there. And then you've got the really bad tanking teams in Charlotte at 4, Utah and Washington. Like, you don't know which way they're going to go because are they going to swing for fences? Are they going to take some stabilizing players? You know, do they go guard? Do they go big? The lottery beyond the Mavs winning it, the order being what it is, has thrown the lottery picks just completely into disarray.
Well, and we've talked about this, but it's basically a choose which kind of guard you want, and it's guard heavy. It's just guard, and so you're just not sure where people stand on those guys. And the Blazers sitting at 11, it's like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. But some of the names that are popping up, boy, it doesn't seem like there's any sort of consensus or idea of where Portland is going to go. Long and rangy has kind of been the MO of them. And you see every single possible player mocked at 11 because it's a really hard, no matter what the draft looks like, it's a hard place to choose what teams are going to do and mock it up.
You usually have a pretty good idea. Like, we knew going into the draft last year that, you know, Riza Shea, Sarr, Castle, in some form or fashion, were kind of going to be in that group, and then Reed Shepherd as well. You're like, okay, how's this going to look? And then after that, Charlotte, I think surprised a little bit taking Tijon Salon before the Blazers, and then, you know, the talk was about where Donovan Clingan was going to go, Zach Edey was going to go, but for the most part, you kind of understood where guys were going to go. You saw a few guys slide back, a few guys move up, but otherwise, for the most part, this one, the draft is better, like hands down. The draft this year is hands down significantly better than last year's draft. There's much more upside. There's much more known quantities, and positionally, I think it makes a bit more sense for a lot of teams. But yeah, you're right. You look at the mocks of the Portland Trailblazers so far. I've seen Carter Bryant. I've seen Kasparas Shakashionis. I've seen Derek Queen. I've seen Noah Senge. Who am I missing from the mocks? I think that's the 4 really that I've kind of seen for the most part. A few other guys here or there. But you're talking about 4 guys who play 4 different positions.
Yeah, Carter Bryant terrifies me.
Why?
When I watch him, I like the kind of player he is. 6'8", big, physical guy. Played in 37 games, started 5.
Yep. And so I was unsure. I think I'm still unsure about Carter Bryant. But the thing about him, particularly late in the season against Oregon, in the NCAA tournament, he was incredible.
Yeah.
And the game before for Arizona, he was incredible. And it's not just the box score stuff. This sounds so corny and like a way you can just excuse it and be like, oh, it's just this. When you watch him play and you watch him move, he looks like an NBA player. You know what I mean? Like, you talk about it on the NFL side of things. The difference between a really good college player and an NFL player is just, they just move different.
Yeah.
In the way Carter Bryant moves, like his kinetic movement, it's just different. He flows. There's nothing rigid about him. He's very smooth. He's able to go both ways, left and right, not just with the ball, but just moving. Like, the way he moves is just different. And then you throw in the fact that he was a plus shooter from 3. And it's like, okay, if he's 18 years old and he's a high-level athlete with a great build and he can already shoot those are kind of the markers of a guy that you're looking for if you're looking for a guy to develop.
Yeah, you're looking for a guy to develop, but it also screams to me of a guy that the Blazers traded up for and nobody was really thrilled with who they took. And Zach Collins, who didn't start at Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Right? And had a really good NCAA tournament and played really well and shot, what was it that they kept saying? He shot 47% from three during the NCAA tournament.
Well, he
Didn't take a whole heck of a lot of them.
12 threes all season.
But he
right?
could do it. He could shoot, right? And you go, all right, so he wasn't good enough to start for Tommy Lloyd and Arizona more than 5 games last year, but the development of an NBA player, like to me, that is a slippery slope.
And look, the idea of Zach Collins, I understand what they were doing, and let me make this clear. I hated the pick because what they needed versus what they went and got was just so different. I was banging the drum for OG Anunoby in that draft. I was like, if they come out of this draft without him, it's a failure. Like, that was the guy, hands down. You can go read the tweets. There's 100 of them. When they moved up to get Zach Collins, I thought that they were moving up to go get Donovan Mitchell because that was the guy I was like, okay, if you're going to swing for a fence, like that's the one you go and get. And when they got Collins, I was like, okay, what the hell? That doesn't make sense because what are you trying to do here? He's not LaMarcus.
Yeah.
And that was the thing is, Neil O'Shea said he was a combination of LaMarcus, Rasheed Wallace, and Kevin McHale.
The old oversell, huh?
Holy crap. And then they tried to play him as a 4.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, he's not a 4. He's a 5. That's what he is. He's a 5. And that's the things you have to worry about. If whoever the Blazers draft, they have got, as far as this is just young guys. At the 1, they've got Scoot. At the 2, they've got Shaden. At the 3, they've got Tumani. At the 4, they've got Denny. At the 5, they've got Donovan Clingan. No matter who they draft, there is a young player in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what. And that's before you consider Anthony's still, as of right now, the presumed starter. Jeremy on this roster is a presumed starter. So the depth issues you already start worrying about. As long as you're not trying to shoehorn a guy like Carter Bryant into a position that he's not, which I don't think either Chauncey Billups would do or Joe Cronin and his staff would do. I think that they would be smarter about that. But your hesitations, they're real.
Boy, he fits that mold of what the Blazers like. He's 6'8", 220, and he is physical, man.
Yes. I mean, his
he's
shoulders
fun
have
to watch.
His shoulders have shoulders.
Yeah.
I hate saying this name because of people immediately like, oh, he's going to be like, he looks like the in-between Giannis. You remember, not the Giannis that was drafted and not Giannis now. But I'm talking about when he started to put some weight on his frame, 6'9", because remember, Giannis came in the league at like 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah.
He grew like 3 inches and then put on like 90 pounds.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough. But he has that like big, broad-shouldered, tapered waist, strong upper body, just kind of Tatum-y.
Yeah, he does. And he does a lot of things pretty good.
And there's no real you don't look at him like let's use Ace Bailey. He's probably going to go in the top 5. Ace Bailey, when he dribbles the ball, it's rigid and stiff. Yeah, he can shoot the living crap out of difficult shots, but you're like, oh, his shot is going to, or his handle is going to keep him from being successful unless he really fixes that. When you look at Bryant, you don't have that ceiling on him yet, but you also don't really know where it's at. And that's what I think what entices teams. It's something you almost have to protect against because you don't really know where the ceiling is and you don't really know what the floor, like I would say his floor is a good 3-and-D guy. I think that's because that's kind of what he was doing at Arizona, was being a 3-and-D guy. And if you're picking at that spot, if you remember what Joe Cronin, when he said when they got the extension, they're talking about building the team out. We don't have to worry about taking the biggest swings. We don't have to take the biggest risk. We can take the guy that we want to take. Now, I don't know if I necessarily disagree with that at that spot, but the guys you're looking at that spot, like let's just talk about the list so far. For me, if the draft fell the way that I think it's going to go, Kasparas Giakoušionis is the guy for me.
Yeah.
He has been a guy that I have loved since he came through at Hoop Summit last year.
Illinois guard.
Yeah. He measured 6'4", 3/4 barefoot, so basically he plays at 6'6". Very strong. Generated free throws basically better than damn near anyone in the country. The problem with him is that defensively he's not the best, but he makes up for it for being stronger and having plus size. The shooting kind of waned with some injuries, some illness.
Not a great three-point shooter.
Great free throw shooter, and also one of the best pick and roll players in the entire league, in all of college basketball. And if you're looking at Portland, what do they need? They need creation. They need playmaking. They need and if you're not sure about Scoot or Shaden, he's a guy that you can kind of put in that. And if nothing else, you're going to put some competition under those guys and go, hey, this is the deal now. This.
Yeah, I like that.
You've reached the point with Scoot and Shaden where I've used this analogy all the time, though. You go full Joker, you break the pool cue, you throw it in the room, figure it out.
And that's something that he brings too, is that he had the ball in his hands all the time.
He ran the offense for Illinois. And they had a ton of injuries throughout the season that got really inconsistent. They went from a team that shot threes like crazy to a team that didn't shoot them at all. It was very weird. They had one of the best shooting nights in college basketball down at Oregon, where they set a franchise record at Illinois for efficiency.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I think they scored 112.
Yeah, they could not miss.
It was absolutely bonkers. And Kasparis is a guy that I really like. He has, holes in his game in the sense of he's not the best defender. His turnover rate was really high.
He has a lot of turnovers, but when you watch them, you go, I get it. He had the ball in his hand a lot.
And you're asking a guy to do a ton. Now, if he's gonna run your offense, you've got to be more efficient. You've got to take better care of the ball. But his vision, to me, it's him and Yegor Demon, the wing/guard from BYU, is the two best passers in this draft. This Blazers team needs passing. They need creation. They need it badly. And if that's the position you're in, it's not necessarily drafting for need. I think that's need and fit.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, there's a little combine dip.
I would
dipping our toe into it.
And I would say don't be surprised if you start, and not necessarily just with the Blazers, but just in general, if you hear somewhat quasi-local guy, Cedric Coward, rising up. He was one of the biggest. I would be stunned. So he was at Washington State before that. He was at Eastern Washington before that. He was at Willamette.
D3 guy.
He has an offer to go to Duke as a transfer. I would be stunned if he goes to Duke at this point after the combine and the buzz that he has. He's probably going to go late lottery now. The other guy, and I don't think he's going to go that high. I think he's going to go post lottery, who has a transfer into Michigan, former UAB big forward Yaxel Lindeberg, who also had a very, very good combine.
Yaxel.
Also, it's a great name.
Badass name.
Yeah.
Badass name. All right, 503-864-6326. That be the Fan text line. Nuggets thump the Thunder down the stretch. Danny and Dusty on the Fan. Here's Rust.
This is a PGA Championship Week edition of Danny and Dusty.
Brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club. Good or bad weather, the golf course is always the driest around. Download the Langdon Farms app today to get all the latest news and specials. First on the Fan, round 2 of the 107th PGA Championship from Quail Hollow in Charlotte. And Jonathan Vegas continues to lead. He shot a 7 under 64 yesterday. Today he went 1 under 70. He is at 8 under overall. That's 2 strokes clear of Matthew Pavone and Alex Smalley at 5 under par, 3 strokes off the pace. You've got Max Homa, Rio Hisatsuni, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Ryan Gerard. 4 under Christian Bezaden, Michael Thorbjornsen, Nico Echevarria, and Robert McIntyre. Over in the association, we got one game on the docket tonight, Game 6 at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks can put away the Celtics. It's a 5 o'clock tip on ESPN. The Knicks are 2.5-point favorites. And then coming up Sunday, the best 2 words in sports, Game 7, Nuggets and Thunder in Oklahoma City. 12:30 tip on ABC. Coverage right here on the Fan will start at noon. The Thunder are 7.5-point favorites. And on the diamond, the Mariners have lost 5 of their last 6 games. They start a 10-gamer road trip with 3 in San Diego against the Padres. Logan Evans on the bump for Seattle. Stephen Kolek for San Diego. 6:40 first pitch on Apple TV+. The Mariners clinging to a half-game lead over the Rangers in the AL West, and those Rangers host the Astros, who are a game and a half out of the lead. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of prime time with Isaac and Sue. Weekdays 3 to 7, 1080 The Fan.
We got a Game 7 in the NBA playoffs. Hey. The Denver Nuggets. Even their series with the Oklahoma City Thunder at 3 games apiece with the 119-107 win at home.
Didn't go exactly the way I thought it was going to go, but it ended the way I thought it was going to end.
Yeah, boy, they really stepped on OKC at the end of that thing.
Oh, I mean, not just that closing few minutes of the second quarter, OKC's got a 12-point lead, and Shea picks up that 4th foul, and OKC fans, shut up. It was a dumb foul. It's a very dumb foul. When you're playing with 3 fouls, you cannot do that.
That's no good.
That's gonna get called every single. He's MVP. Stop.
They didn't call a foul on him the rest of the game.
Yeah, stop. That was a what are you doing?
Yep.
Like we have to call that. And with that, Nuggets go on a 12-0 run, and Julian Strawther is a key to closing the half, and then starting that 4th quarter out when they buy Jokic those 4 minutes, and that's all she wrote.
Yep, and David Adelman had a short leash on Russ last night, and he said, we ain't going to see this play out again, and their bench they needed some punch, and they got it from Julian Strawther, man, and he was efficient. I mean, knocking down threes. It's amazing how these games have all played out for Denver, where you could just, and right before that 12-0 run, right before the half, like you would just look at the box score and you would say, Oklahoma City should be just dominating this game. At the half, you would go, Oklahoma City should be dominating this game. That's how this entire series has played out.
With the exception of the 87-point first half.
Yeah.
If you take that out of this game has been played on this series has been played on the margins the entire time.
And that's where I go, all right, Game 7, who are we going to lean on?
Yeah.
The team that is got the home court advantage, is young and supremely talented, deeper than the other team, or the grizzled veteran team that has been through this before, has won a championship largely together, your core pieces have, and just grind you during these games to where you shouldn't be in it, but they are.
The question that the Thunder have to ask themselves right now is J-Dub ready for it? Because outside of that 87-point first half game, he has struggled. I think he's 10 of 44 from 3 in the series.
I'd put Chet Holmgren in there too. Like Chet,
he's good last night. He finished with 19-11 last night.
Yeah, take that out of it. He gets bullied by Jokic.
Yeah.
Like Jokic moves him like he's not even there.
Yeah.
And like we know of Jokic, he's got a finesse bag for days,
he's also
but
strong
he's
as an ox.
Very, very strong. And it just seems like in the moments, Chet isn't there, missing the free throws earlier in the series. He's missed bunny opportunities like that
one at the rim and just
have been
smoked
swing moments in this series where it's like, yeah, you can be efficient last night, but so much of the playoffs, because everybody is so good and it is played in the margins, is when you make your impact, not how big your impact is for the entirety of the 48 minutes, but what happens when the rubber meets the road and the game gets tight. And he hasn't been there.
Well, J-Dub last night goes 3 of 18. He also has a 5 of 20 and a 4 of 18 game, I think, in this series.
He has not been good. Neither one of them have. I mean, in Chet's numbers as a whole, you'll go, yeah, that's good.
But Chet's also supposed to be number 3. Like, he's supposed to take advantage of the mismatches, whereas J-Dub's supposed to deliver. And I think what you're like, and this is not to be critical of the Thunder because they're all so young. This is what we taught. We went through this with Tatum and Brown.
A long time,
and it
man.
takes a long time, man. Like, everybody's like talking about this is why when everybody's like, OKC's going to go to the finals, they're going to win a title. I just sat there and was like, I don't buy it. Nobody's ever done it. Just we had one and then one playoff year and then just won it. That's not the NBA. Like, you look, it doesn't matter what era it is. You have got to learn how to win in those series, man.
Michael Jordan had to do it. He went 6 for 6 in the finals, but he didn't go to the finals every single year.
No, it took him a long time to get over that hump, and people questioned whether or not he was going to be the guy and everything that came along with this. And I'm not comparing J-Dub to Jordan.
No.
But it was like, there have been people like, this summer they need to move on from him. I'm like, what? No, man, this is the process. And this is why when you are a title contending team like the Celtics, It's why you have to live in the window when you know BS have a window.
Mm-hmm.
The tail for OKC right now is very big. We've also seen this exact same issue play out with Oklahoma City 10 years ago. You had it 10 years ago, a little bit longer than that, with KD, Russ, Harden, Ibaka. And they made the decision to keep Ibaka, trade out James Harden, and you know, I think you could pretty easily say they made the wrong choice, but it's easy to say in hindsight. But does OKC, do they get, let's say they drop game 7. Do they get a little, we got to make sure, or do they learn from the past and maybe stick to it? Because like nothing is the same, but you have to take into consideration windows and opportunities and the sliding doors of it all. I don't know. Like, look, if you can go get Giannis, great. And then you are in a no doubt title window because you have 2 MVPs. But is that the dragon you want to chase?
Well, I think this year is a little bit different for Oklahoma City than back then, because it was like, all right, now we have to pay all these guys at one time, and they're all coming up. They've got another year that they can sit there and they can hold. Yeah. They can hold for at least another year.
Before
and
they have to make a decision.
That's a big difference between this and the last time that OKC did it. And they have a war chest full of draft picks. They've got salary cap flexibility. Like, they're in a really unique situation.
Yep. Particularly in this CBA.
And it's almost like this is the year that if you're to get bounced early, this would be the one that you would almost want it to happen. Because
you can make some changes.
You can make those changes. It'll be justified to the fan base. And you can sit there and really bolster your lineup by getting a star.
Making the preemptive move is the ballsiest thing a GM can do, because it can get you fired.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care who you are in the NBA. You can be Danny freaking Ainge. They don't do it.
No.
And it's like, oh, you're scared. You're not doing, like, no, man, because if you make a move too early, it will get you fired.
Yep.
It happens every single time. So you want to have the data that goes, you know what? And again, I'm not saying J-Dub is this guy. He's good. He's not the guy. So if you have another year to find that out, let's say they basically run it back. They make some small tweaks, and then, you know, they run it back next year, and all of a sudden he takes the Paul George leap and goes from like, man, this guy's pretty damn good, to, oh crap, this guy is a performer.
They've got a club option on the other Jalen Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, if you look at kind of where they are,
so many guys are either locked up on great deals or are still on rookie scale.
They're not in a position where they really have to worry all that much, man. They are locked into everybody. And then next year, that's where they have their decisions. And this is where it comes down to sign and trades are really, or I mean, trading guys that have these options, really valuable. Isaiah Hartenstein has an option after next year.
Mm-hmm. Caruso's
Lou Dort has one after next year. Cason Wallace has one after next year.
That's his rookie scale.
And they're like in Topic has one after next year.
Who didn't play this year because of an ACL.
They're in this situation where next year, if like heading into 26, 27, like this year they can go, all right, if we want to, if we get bounced early, then we can make a wholesale change and we have options. Next year, we still have all these draft picks, but we got tradable assets where a team could go, all right, we're going to trade for that guy, and we got a club option on him. That's a good place to be at moving forward. OKC's done this the right way, and this year, this offseason is the one where they're going to have some tough decisions, and they're going to be active.
And it all still might not matter.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
right.
The dumb thing about the NBA. And I don't want to get out of this segment. I know we're up against it. Jamal Murray was him last night.
Jamal Murray was great. I think, as the text line points out, I agreed with the guys on the halftime show. I don't think he's sick. I don't know how sick he is, but I mean, he wasn't playing like a dude who was sick.
All of the Denver guys and the national guys.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying the way he played. It was like, that ain't a dude who's sick. That's a dude who's just in a trance right now, playing out of his gourd.
Yeah.
And that's what, the third or fourth time he's done that in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Hey, remember that line? It was it 20 and a half?
Mm-hmm.
He ended up-
25.
Yeah, 25.
That would have been plus money. You would have gotten plus 215 on him getting 25 or more points last night, and he hit 25 right on the head.
Pretty damn efficient, too.
Yeah, he was. 9 of 19. Good golly, Miss Molly.
And he was rebounding and he was creating.
And Jokic almost had a triple-double again.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Jokic's line last night,
He-
29, 14, and 8 on 9 of 14.
Yep, very good.
Good God.
He's good at basketball. All right, we got a little NFL nuggies. A couple of things around the National Football League that they're not all too newsy, but some questions could be asked. Danny and Dusty on the Fan.
Check
All right, we got a couple NFL news notes, nuggies that we need to get to. Before we get to Dick Girardi, he's our horse racing insider. He's going to join us next hour. We got the Preakness coming up tomorrow. And boy, it's lost its luster. And I want to ask him about that because that sucks. That sucks for horse racing.
Yeah, when you get the big storyline horse out, it's not great, Bob.
Yeah. But your local Toyota dealers present the 11th Annual Fan Golf Classic out at Langdon Farms Golf Club Tuesday, June 24th. It's brought to you by Henderson & Daughter, Windows and Doors, and Philbrook Law, Accident and Injury Lawyers. We got a morning and afternoon round. Folks, it's filling up fast. Like, it really is. If you want to get in on this, go do it because the golf is fun. The event is fun. Everybody at the fan's going to be hunkered down on the 6th hole. We got live broadcasts from the event. It's going to be a great time. So come on out to Langdon Farms Golf Club Tuesday, June 24th. You can get your foursomes at 1080thefan.com. Click on the old Fan Golf Classic logo, and it'll link you right there to the deets and to book your foursome. Matt's Barbecue. I'm going to be feeding people after their round. Morning round, bonus for the morning round. You book that morning round, you're going to be getting a Victorico's breakfast burrito.
Hey-o.
On your way out to the course. So come golf with us at the Fan Golf Classic, presented by your local Toyota dealers. All right, NFL newsy notesies. One thing about the Caleb Williams story that people are missing, and how much would you pay to catch a pass from Patrick Mahomes?
Oh.
Danny and Dusty on the Fan.
Market volatility.
the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. A Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Jeff Rust with your Sports Center update. First on The Fan, it is the second round of the 107th PGA Championship from Quail Hollow in Charlotte. And at the top of the leaderboard, Jonathan Vegas. He shot a 1 under 70 today, leaving him at 8 under overall. He's one stroke clear of Alex Smalley. He's good enough, he's smart enough, and doggone it, people like him. He is 3 under on the day through 11 holes at 7 under par. Matthew Pavone at 6 under, and then 3 strokes off the pace, tied for 4th. You've got Max Homa, Ryo Hisatsuni, Ben Griffin, and Ryan Gerard. Over on the hard court, one game in the NBA playoffs tonight. Game 6 at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks, they can put away the Celtics. 5 o'clock tip on ESPN. The Knicks are 2.5-point favorites. Coming up on Sunday, Game 7 of the Nuggets and Thunder in Oklahoma City. It's a 12:30 tip on ABC. We'll have coverage right here on The Fan starting at noon. The Thunder are 7.5-point favorites. And the Mariners have lost 5 of their last 6. They start a 10-game road trip with 3 in San Diego against the Padres. Logan Evans starting for Seattle. Stephen Kolek for San Diego. It's a 6:40 first pitch on Apple TV+. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
More, please. Golf in the Northwest with Jason Swigart is back. Saturdays at 8 a.m. before the Sinner and the Saint on Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan. This week, the second major of the year heads to Quail Hollow in North Carolina.
I got the golf bug.
Okay, good.
I got the golf bug. I got, membership and keeping track of my handicap. And
Oh, you are a gin member now, huh?
This is a PGA Championship Week edition of Danny and Dusty.
Brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club, the best course in the Northwest for year-round golf. Book your tee time at langdonfarms.com.
Danny and Dusty on 1080 The Fan.
Hour number 2, Danny and Dusty with you on this Friday afternoon. Thank you for being a part of our day, letting us be a part of yours. 1080 AM, 99.5 HD2, the Odyssey app, twitch.tv/1080am, The Fan, or youtube.com. The party animals on the YouTube stream, youtube.com/1080am, The Fan. Party on party people on the YouTube streams. There's one thing that people are missing about this Caleb Williams story on that has come out of a Seth Wickersham book that is going to be released.
indeed.
And it was about, that we talked about this yesterday, how his dad, Carl, and Caleb did not want to go to Chicago. They were clear about it.
Yes.
They opened up and they let Seth Wickersham know how dysfunctional it was at times in year 1 there.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. You never want your franchise quarterback saying that, especially after 1 year.
Yeah.
But they did a hard reset. So, if they still had Shane Waldron and Matt Eberflus, this would be disaster city. They're in a far better place, and the organization is actually trying. But GM is still there, ownership is still there, team president is still there. Not probably the nicest of meetings that are being had and conversations after that. But everything was justified.
Yeah, there's nothing in there that was like, oh, that's a surprise.
There is something, though, that I don't think people are talking about enough.
Mm-hmm.
In that, in the NFL, they value talent over everything.
Indeed.
Everything. They value talent over off-the-field issues.
Mm-hmm.
They value talent over your family situation. No, you could be a bad teammate in the locker room. If your talent's good enough, they'll value it.
It's a sliding scale.
Knowing everything that the Chicago Bears knew, including as part of this reporting, you had Ryan Poles, the GM, call Caleb Williams and his dad and say, we're drafting you no matter what.
Yeah, deal with it.
They value the talent over all. That goes to say, this entire draft process with Shedeur Sanders, everybody was like, oh, they're just afraid of his dad. His dad's going to pipe up and say something. No, they didn't.
No.
They told you he's not good enough to be a franchise quarterback.
And then all the other stuff drug him down because the talent is not good enough.
They value the talent over everything. And then when you have that orbit around you and your talent isn't there, That's where you see yourself get drafted in the 5th round behind a quarterback in the 3rd round who is 5'10" in Dylan Gabriel and is a really damn good locker room guy, has zero issues that you worry about. It is physically, he is not a tall guy. Everything else, he checks all those boxes. And that, to me, the Caleb Williams story says so much about talent is everything to them.
Yeah.
And he has it in spades. Shedeur doesn't. And the NFL told everybody that, but they didn't want to acknowledge it.
And I don't know why. And it was very interesting and pretty telling. And it's not just the NFL, the NBA is this way too, where the draft evaluators and the talent evaluators in those drafts, I think it was Schefter, it might have been Rappaport. I think it was Rappaport that said, yeah, you keep your best stories until a couple days before the draft. And then I'm like, if Shedeur's not good enough, start saying 60 days ago that he's not good enough, because everyone in the league said he's not good enough. So why are we waiting until now? Because that's where people get like, oh, there's this whole thing behind the scenes to push Shedeur down. It's like, no, behind the scenes, everybody was pushing Shedeur down.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Kind of including himself in those
interviews.
What I would love to see, did you see what the Giants released?
No.
They released the video of Jackson Dart in his top 30 meeting with the Giants.
Oh, no, I did see that, and he crushed it.
Yeah, I want to see the Shedeur one.
Oh, they'll never see the light.
I know, but it's on it. Somebody's got it.
Oh, they
have it because they recorded all of their top 30 interviews, and it's just like you see the interactions between Daboll and Jackson Dart, and all of the reporting on how messy the interview with Shedeur got, where he called him out and was like, dude, did you even prepare for this?
Whereas Jackson Dart came into the room and was able to go through, hey, I remember there's one part of it, Daboll hits him with, hey, if you're seeing this and you don't see the board because they don't want that out there, what are you kind of looking at? Where would you go with this? And he starts going, well, I'd go here, 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 and here. It is very clear that the install package they gave him the day before, that he came back, he studied all damn day, came back in the morning, and had all the answers.
Yep.
Ta-da! Welcome to a job interview.
Yeah. So that happened. I like that.
Yeah. No, that was great. And you could see Daboll and all the other coaches and assistant GMs and GMs in there just going, Yep.
We like it. We like it. All right. My other thing, how much would you pay to catch a pass from Patrick Mahomes?
Me, nothing, because he's a Chief and I hate him.
You can pay $15,000 to catch a pass from Patrick Mahomes.
Is this the Airbnb thing?
No.
Okay, because did you see that too? He's starting up like an Airbnb thing where he'll come out and hang out with you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't bring his brother.
You pay $15,000 to keep Jackson Mahomes away.
Fanatics has a deal with Patrick Mahomes where it's a VIP offering.
It's experience.
For on May 29th, you can catch a pass from Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. It doesn't say where.
They probably don't want that out there.
But you can catch a pass. It'd be cool if it was in Arrowhead. For $15,000, you get a pass from Mahomes. You get to keep the ball. The ball comes with a display case. I'm assuming it's autographed too.
Yeah.
And then a highlight reel of the event and an autographed photo of the event.
I mean,
so you get a picture with Mahomes.
If you're one of those rich dudes
ball.
where $15,000 is nothing to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see those highlights though. Old guys in Dockers and a polo shirt out there running their curl route.
I mean, have you speaking of this exact situation, have you heard Ben Affleck tell a Tom Brady one? I think he was on with the Kelseys, the New Heights guys. He was talking about how he went out and caught a pass from Tom Brady, and he goes, Brady made me believe, man. He goes, here's what I want you to do. Like, he made it feel like the Super Bowl. And he goes, I want you to run, and I don't want you to look back. Just put your hands out. I'll put it there. And he's like, I ran, and I ran, and I ran, and I ran. I'm like, is it going to be there? Is it going to be there? And he goes, and then I looked, just briefly heard it right over my shoulder, and it fell right in my hands, and I caught it.
How many do you think are going to pay for this?
10 at least.
10?
At least.
I bet more than that.
I mean,
I
that's
bet you
the
get
number I
more.
start. at.
Yeah. How many do you think Mahomes is willing to do? Like,
20,
do you think
25.
Mahomes out there willing to throw 100 footballs
25.
and and just say, "I'm making bank today," dude? And it begs the question: who would you pay 15 grand to catch a pass from, or do a sporting experience with?
Ooh. That's the sporting experience would be different. Like, because catching a pass on a basketball court is whatever, but like
No,
playing a little one-on-one with like your favorite player of all time, even with him just messing around.
you just want to get your ass whipped.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean that's part of the process, right? It's feel what it's like.
I don't think you're getting a commiserate feeling of what it's like to play.
Go get
against
postered by Shaden Sharp if you're a big Shaden fan. This is
Yeah.
what it's like when a guy jumps over you.
Is anybody
Yeah.
picking Shaden Sharp?
No, I'm just saying, like, if you're a Blazers, like a young Blazers fan, like, oh my God, how cool would that be? You know what I mean? For me, I don't have a quarterback in my life because the Raiders have never had quarterbacks that were that great, so doesn't really work for me in that sense. Honestly, it would be more like, could I play around with Tiger Woods? Or play a hole with Tiger Woods. That would
Yep.
be the thing.
For me, it'd be around with Tiger, Jordan, and Brady.
Oh, that's
Competition through the roof.
yeah.
Competition just through the roof.
Yeah, I'd
be
probably
great.
Tiger, Jordan. I wouldn't go Brady. I'd maybe go Steph because Steph's a hell of a golfer.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Keep the text in 503-864-6326. We'll get to some of those. What experience would you be willing to pay 15 G's for? Coming up next, though, we've got Dick Girardi, Preakness, coming up this weekend. It is tomorrow, the 150th running of the Preakness. The Kentucky Derby winner is not running, and this is becoming a trend. Why? Danny Dusty on the Fan.
of Danny and Dusty.
Brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club. Good or bad weather, the golf course is always the driest around. Download the Langdon Farms app today to get all the latest news and specials. First on The Fan, round 2 of the 107th PGA Championship from Quail Hollow in Charlotte. And all by himself, 8 under par overall is Jonathan Vegas. He shot a 1 under 70 today. He is 2 strokes clear of Matthew Pavone, Alex Smalley, and Ryan Gerard. And then 3 strokes back at 5 under par, you've got Max Homa, Ryo Hisatsuni, and Matt Fitzpatrick. Over in the association, just one game on the docket tonight, Game 6 at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks, they can put away the Celtics. 5 o'clock tip on ESPN. The Knicks are 2.5-point favorites. And coming up on Sunday, the Game 7 of Nuggets and Thunder in Oklahoma City. 12:30 tip on ABC. Coverage right here on The Fan will start at noon. The Thunder are 7.5-point favorites. The Mariners have lost 5 of their last 6 games. They start a 10-game road trip with 3 in San Diego against the Friars. Logan Evans starting for Seattle. Stephen Kolek for San Diego. 6:40 first pitch on Apple TV+. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
It's back. The 11th annual Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms Golf Club happens Tuesday, June 24th. Presented by your local Toyota dealers. Reserve your foursome now at 1080thefan.com. It's time for today's worst day on the web. With Danny and Dusty on Odyssey and 1080 The Fan.
Well, that sucks.
Cosmic events are always something that just kind of blow your mind. Like, did you know that it was twice as likely that an asteroid that was identified last month will hit Earth's moon next year than it was that the Dallas Mavericks would win the lottery?
Wait, there's a 3.6% chance that an asteroid will hit the moon?
Mm-hmm. Pretty big one. They identified it like last month. It'll hit.
Well, now
moon.
that you put it that way, like with the Mavericks, like I don't like that.
Mhm.
I don't like those odds. But I guess it's a little bit different in that you can see it coming, and you have trajectory and path and all that, but still don't like it. That's not good.
Well,
We need the moon.
yeah, we do.
We
It's
do.
the
We need it.
tides and obviously horoscopes.
Yeah, well, obviously.
That's the
That's what I was
yeah,
thinking.
most important
Forget
thing.
the oceans.
Yeah, no, it's, the tide lines. It doesn't matter.
Boy, that wouldn't be good. Good thing we have Space Force.
Yeah, it's a good thing because there is a solar eruption. They are calling it the solar wings eruption that is supposed to hit the planet today, or could
Okay.
hit the planet today.
All right.
That is 600,000 miles wide.
I don't know. Well, solar flares really don't affect us. It's a long ways for it to travel.
Mhm.
So does that mean we're going to have like northern lights? Like, what does this mean for us? Does it mean that cell phones will not work, or
So this,
I need a scale of
it's a solar eruption, and that
Yeah.
600,000 miles, how wide it is twice the distance it is from the Earth to the moon.
yeah.
Like, to put it in perspective, the cosmic scale of this.
What does that mean for me though?
Oh, we're all dead.
Will that affect my life?
We're all dead.
No, we're not all dead. That's not what it means.
We're all dead. It's at most supposed to be a glancing storm because it shot out of the North Pole of the sun, but this is basically the biggest one we've ever tracked heading our way.
But what does the solar storm do?
It can do a million different things. It can blot out satellites and completely take them down.
Yeah. See,
it can
these
cook them.
are the things that I need to know.
Yeah, I mean, you could see communications be disrupted, but with the size of it, you don't. With something this big, if it did for whatever reason hit us directly, it could penetrate.
Wait, are you
and-
saying it is or it is not
it's,
going to?
It's space. It's unpredictable. It's likely to hit us.
When? Today? Feels like we should have gotten a heads up on
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's maybe a good question. If you know the Earth is going to end, do you want to know
Well, yeah.
so you can go on your crime spree?
No.
Oh.
No. What is a crime spree going to do for you?
Intrusive thoughts.
Right. I'm going to steal this TV.
I'm
I'm going to watch it until we die.
let your intrusive thoughts win for the rest of the day.
Danny's going to be like, I'm going to finish you before the earth does. No, man.
I got a day left. No, you don't.
No, you don't. See, golly, we already know where you're headed when it's over, but that is really just giving yourself that quick trip.
There is an increased likelihood of the northern lights and disruption to electrical equipment.
All right, there we go.
Based on the traditional trajectory and the impact that we've seen in the past, but
Look,
this is the biggest one we've ever seen.
This is what we need to know here. We need to know how this is going to affect my day-to-day life. The northern lights, would love to see them, but disrupting my communication, no, don't want that. No, not zero. You know what this is going to mean? If this happens today, what are the odds that this happens like right around, I don't know, 7:45 p.m.
I was going to say
Pacific.
right around the old Friday afternoon news dump.
5 p.m. Pacific. Because you know what I could see happening? Celtics Knicks
Oh God.
are tied in game 6 with 2 seconds to go. And all of a sudden, solar flare knocks out satellites. We have no idea what happened. And we won't know. Internet goes down, TV is out, and we just have to go old timey. We're gonna have to wait this thing out, and we're gonna have to figure out how this game ended right at the end. Now, that is very low on the totem pole of like the urgent things that need to be done. I am aware, but that's how this affects my life directly.
Yeah, no. And the interesting thing is, it is slated to hit the northeast of the U.S. more so than the northwest. It's actually very likely going to produce the Northern Lights very heavily over Scotland.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like it's, and the imaging that we have here,
All
which
right.
you can't see, most of Canada, and then over the northeastern seaboard, the very northeast, basically looks like from at the most like into Maine is where it's heavy. I'm squinting at the country lines from the U.S. and Canada here, but it's mostly hitting like Greenland, Nova Scotia, Scotland.
Fantex line. At least we wouldn't have to go through another 30-win Blazer season with no obvious path to improve. That's one way to look at the world ending.
Sure. Going out dumb is certainly a way you could go.
What do you mean by that? That's not dumb.
Yeah, sure it is.
It's not dumb at all.
It is. It's a terrible way to go out.
That texture's not wrong.
Do like these cosmic / solar events, like when you try to think about them, like when they have like these images of like the whatever, I can't remember the name of the camera they use, the solar imaging, like where they can capture like literal pictures of the sun.
Yeah.
And like everything it does. Rust and I were talking about this yesterday. When I try to like actually quantify this stuff in my head, my face gets tingly. Like it doesn't happen. Like my brain like short circuits.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
No.
No.
Nope. Well, I don't.
No.
I don't know what you mean.
Do you ever like
your face gets tingly when you're like your brain is frying?
Yeah, it's like overloading, like just trying to comprehend the universe.
Yeah, no, I don't.
You just don't comprehend, just don't try, or
dude, I've been
like, have you ever had those shower thoughts?
I've been married and have children, and like I sit there and
try
I
to
go,
get to the next day.
You know what? There's just things I'll never understand, and I just go, all right, on to the next one. Let's go figure something else out.
Like like where this report originates from is
I'm a
somebody
simple man
who went to school for space weather.
Yeah,
like not just meteorology, space meteorology.
A smart person.
Like it's all theory.
Oh yeah. Well, no, there is space weather.
I know, but I mean, like, you're not out in it.
You've never been there either.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like,
probably never gonna be there.
No, and it's like
I study penguins. I've lived in Miami my whole life, and I never will move. I don't work at a zoo.
But
no.
I mean, you at least know, like, you if you wanted to, you can reach out and touch it. You can't just like go into in space and feel it. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
you could. You're not coming back.
I mean,
but
you're
you
dying
could.
very quickly.
You could do it.
Like, just when you try to comprehend space, like the whole idea that space is a vacuum, there's no sound. Like, and like, what's that new movie?
They're like, prove it.
Mickey 17, where they one of the things they put him out there to do, because he just dies and comes back over and over again. They test space radiation. They're like, he's out there in a spacesuit, and they're like, all right, we want you to take off your gloves so we can see the radiation attacking your skin, and let us know what it feels like. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, when you actually start to like process like what that would actually be like, you're just like, space is insane. And it just like, I start to short circuit.
Well, here on Earth, we also had people that were just letting snakes bite him, and he was not getting paid for it.
No, he wasn't.
And now he is, probably handsomely. But for all the venomous snakes just to bite him so he can build up a tolerance for some reason.
To help people.
It's all for science.
It was for science.
It's all for science.
I guess that is the
space guide too.
One small step for snakes.
Don't let your brain overheat. Just sit there and be like, this is all for science.
It's dumb, but I could comprehend it.
Yeah, just like the guy, radiation space arm guy.
Yeah, that just goes another level
for science.
Yeah, I guess.
Just chalk it up. Simpler life.
So there you go. There's your science update for today.
Don't try to figure it out.
It's the theoretical physics and space and astrophysics, all that kind of stuff, man. Like, I'm very good at math. That just does not work in my brain.
Yeah, I just let Science people science. You
It's
know?
it's no wonder that every one of those dudes is just a different cat.
Well, yeah. And it's always one of those things where you go, these people are spending their entire life figuring this out.
Mhm.
Don't try to pretend like you know more.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that do that in a lot of different areas of the world.
In that same vein, I saw something the other day. Somebody goes, "Hey, just little thing we wanted to throw out there is it pertains to Pearl Harbor, the attack in Pearl Harbor in 1941. The flat earthers, the path they charted the path that Japan would have had to take because it's literally on the other side of the map. Basically, not circumnavigating because it's round, but going from one side of the flat Earth all the way to the other side.
Right.
It's like they would have had to fly under South America, like Antarctica, and then come back up, and it's like not possible. And yet here we are.
Well, they just will go down the road of, well, then it didn't happen.
Yeah. Pearl Harbor, first inside job.
That's right. That's right. I could explain that away. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
In your face. Were you there?
Yeah.
Like, no.
And you got the guys that were, and they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was real. It happened.
Was there.
Yeah.
Was there. You don't know who it was. Inside job.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Ben Affleck. He was there.
Right.
It is undeniable, which means it can't be denied.
That's right, baby Billy.
All right, coming up next, we're going to get back some NFL news and nuggies, and a change basically coming to the NFL. It needs to come to all sports. We'll get that next year on Danny Dusty, 10 the Fan. Ticket resellers in sporting events, concerts, you name it, any targeted event are a scourge.
Yeah.
Because they will gobble them up and resell them at insane prices.
So are ticket sellers. Did you see that Ticketmaster now has to tell you all of the fees up front? Yeah.
And look,
that's great news.
If we can bust that up a little bit further, I'd love that, because the control that they have over all of the events is gross and it's far too expensive.
Yeah.
And the NFL in particular is starting to fight back, including the team up I-5. The Seattle Seahawks are trying to crack down on ticket resellers after having one of the best home fields in all of sports.
Yeah.
It's one of the loudest arenas that exists. They have seen that kind of diminish because ticket resellers are out there just gobbling up tickets, and they're trying to. So many people make this a career. That's how much money is in this. And you've already seen numerous teams that do this. And if you haven't paid attention, most tickets, you don't get hard copies anymore.
No.
Most season tickets now are not hard copies. They are digital tickets. And the big thing about that is they are much easier to track because they have barcodes. And if you purchase them and you resell them, they're trackable because they can see where they're coming from and who's sitting and who's not sitting in those seats. Have you seen the one of the Bravo, AMC, whatever, the stadium security series that's come up? It's in the NFL. They're showing inside these control rooms at Cleveland Brown games of they have a strict no smoking or vaping policy.
Oh, the dog pound isn't going to adhere to that.
Oh, so these cameras are precise, man. And like the way that they can detect stuff. Hey, we got to, because they have the text line. And most arenas have these. Most stadiums have these. Hey, if you see somebody breaking the rules or being a D-bag, text this helpline anonymously and we'll take a look. There are security cameras that are 360-degree, full-on zoom, like straight out of the CIA. All of these arenas and stadiums have these now. And there were these two kids in their early, mid-20s that were using a vape pen and got thrown out. And they're like, we paid $250 for these tickets, man. I'll just put the vape away. And they're like, there are 17 signs from when you came in to where you sat down that says do not vape. Oh, we won't do it again. And the guy, the fan starts calling him every name in the word. He's like, oh yeah, you're the man. Yeah. And it's like, bro,
the sign said.
And it's like, just don't do it.
Yeah, I don't. Those cameras, like, just take an edible. How about that?
Yeah.
Right?
Take an edible or get a lip pillow, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Pop a zinny.
It's not hard.
Throw on a nicotine patch for the day.
It's not hard, man. It's actually very simple.
Yeah, that's something that I'm glad that they're cracking down on those things.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'll tell you right now, I don't want to smell it.
Cleveland fans all they need to do though is wait till it gets cold enough, and then your breath just looks like smoke all the time.
Yeah, there you go. But I say all that because we have moved into the digital tracking era, and everything is tracked. And here's the thing, because teams they can end up like losing money on this because if that ticket isn't sold to you, then they can gouge because they have the premium pricing for certain games.
Yeah.
But if you buy the season tickets, it comes at a flat rate. Yeah, things will be moved around. But like when let's use a perfect example, Luka is traded. Going into the trade deadline, those Blazers tickets, I think the cheapest you could get in the building was like $400, even though Luka didn't end up playing. But yeah, if you don't think that the Blazers and any other team that's playing the Lakers right after that isn't going, oh, we need to do the premium pricing on this because it's going to change.
The premium pricing I do get because you shouldn't be charging people the same for a Laker game as you are a Hornets game.
Sure.
But the resale market, it's priced out the average fan.
Yes.
Because they know exactly what they can sell. And look, they get them because they buy in bulk the way they do, and they make money off of so many games. They're fine with just eating the tickets and being like, whatever.
Mm-hmm. But here, the teams, they aren't doing this out of the goodness of their heart.
You got to wait them out.
They're using the home field advantage. No, they're losing. They're losing potential money.
Yep.
And that's what they're looking at, and it's selfishly motivated. And I get it; it's a business, all those kind of things. But at the same time, I'm so sick and tired of I've looked at going to a Seahawks game a couple of different times just to go to an NFL game. I haven't been to an NFL game since I was a kid at Memorial Coliseum when the Raiders were playing. Like, that's how long it's been since I've been to an NFL game. And I looked at going to a Seahawks game for like 2 people to get decent tickets. I was like, with the hotel and everything else, I'm like, this is going to end up being like $1,000 trip.
If you're lucky.
That's what I mean. I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, that's like, I know that the NFL stadium, it's only 17 or 8 weeks at home, 9 weeks, whatever it ends up being. But it's like, come on, man. It gets ridiculous. But
They got to get to 25 billy per year.
I do want to get the resellers out of the market.
Yeah,
Like,
they do. They need to go.
There's a band that I've gotten into in the last couple months called Sleep Token. They're doing their first U.S. stadium tour, and they sold out nationwide in 20 minutes. I was like, oh, crap. And I looked at the resale market right out of the gate, and I was like, nope, that's not happening.
It's the same thing that happens with shoes, though, too.
Mhm.
You know, and it's awful.
Scarcity.
For the shoe game is that, like, nobody ever gets these shoes. Even when you go to, like, the sneakers app, which is supposed to give everybody the equal chance, the resellers find a way around it, though.
Or you know, the son of a CEO at a particular shoe company has
Yeah.
an
Well,
inside deal to.
She lost her job, and didn't he go to jail?
Yep, which you love to see. But I do like to see the resellers kind of getting kicked out of the market here, or at least even if it is for selfish reasons, because it just adds another layer to what is becoming just so money dominant. And I get it, like the economy and everything else, and get what you can get. But it's like at some point in time, there has to be some level of like, we got to stop.
Or people will stop attending the events. And look, the reality of it is most teams are okay with it because that means more people are at home watching, which means they make way more money off the TV deal than they do off of people who actually go into the stadiums. Stadiums are going to be getting smaller and smaller. They're not going to get bigger and bigger. And the product is a TV product now, not a live experience. That's why they charge you an arm and a leg if you want to get a beer. That's why they charge you an arm and a leg if you want to get in the door. That's why hotels go through the roof on game days. Like, it's everybody's just getting their pound of flesh from the people who care the most about the product.
The interesting thing here is that this is as it pertains to the Seahawks, the Bucks, the Packers, the Colts, or a couple of other teams that have also done this. But the Seahawks, if they suspect via the data that you've done this, they're going to give you a chance to basically fight back. But if you ain't got nothing, you're cooked, and you're not going to be able to get those tickets again.
Good.
I like to see it.
I do too. I think that's good.
All right, coming up next, we'll pivot back to the NBA, the Celtics and Knicks with a potential series clincher for the New York Knickerbockers and the chance to take on the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. We'll get to that next year on Danny and Dusty, 1080 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Jeff Rust with your Sports Center update. First on The Fan, it is the second round of the 107th PGA Championship from Quail Hollow in Charlotte. And at the top of the leaderboard is your first round leader. Jonathan Vegas shot a 1 under 70 today. That puts him at 8 under overall. He is 2 strokes clear of Matthew Pavone, Alex Smalley, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Ryan Gerard. Max Homa all alone at 6th, 5 under par. Among those in the logjam at 4 under par, tied for 7th, is Scotty Scheffler, and Bryson DeChambeau is 3 under par overall. Over in the association, one game tonight in the playoffs, Game 6 at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks can put away the Celtics. 5 o'clock tip on ESPN. The Knicks are 2.5-point favorites. Coming up on Sunday, Game 7 of the Nuggets and Thunder in Oklahoma City. 12:30 tip on ABC. We'll have coverage right here on The Fan beginning at noon. The Thunder are 7.5-point favorites. The Mariners have lost 5 of their last 6. They start a 10-game road trip with 3 in San Diego against the Padres. Logan Evans starting for Seattle. Stephen Kolek for San Diego. And Jesuit High School alum Mick Abel, the 15th pick in the 2020 draft, will make his Major League Baseball debut for the Phillies Sunday against the Pirates, opposite none other than Paul Skeens. Abel was called up when Aaron Nola was placed on the injured list. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is your home for year-round NFL coverage. The Odyssey app and Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan. It's time for our hosts to tee off.
I got a late invite to do some golf.
Oh, hey, all right.
Shot 100 on the dot.
On the dot? Well, good thing you made that putt.
This is Danny and Dusty on PGA Championship Week.
Brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club, the best course in the Northwest for year-round golf. Book your tee time at langdonfarms.com.
Danny and Dusty on 1080 The Fan.
Hour 3 here on a Friday afternoon on Danny and Dusty, whether you're listening on 1080 AM, watching along on youtube.com/1080 AM The Fan or twitch.tv/1080 AM The Fan. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for hanging out with us. Wonderful, wonderful Friday afternoon. We are going to pivot from the NBA because we do have some breaking news.
I have one NBA note before. People are wondering, why Mark Cuban is leaving the Shark Tank. Maybe he's leaving the show Shark Tank after 14 years.
I think he's got stake in that show, if I'm not mistaken. Too.
Maybe he's going to invest in the Portland Trailblazers. People are wondering.
Got to divest his ownership in the Mavs.
The bully Mark Cuban to buy the Portland Trailblazers needs to happen. We just need to keep bullying Mark Cuban. Maybe this is why he's leaving Shark Tank. I don't know.
People are saying.
Questions are being asked right now.
They are indeed being asked.
I don't know.
One question that's no longer being asked is whether or not Brock Purdy is going to re-sign with the San Francisco 49ers. As Tom Pelissero reports, the 49ers and quarterback Brock Purdy have agreed to terms on a 5-year, $265 million extension, 181 in guarantees, including 165 in the first 3 years. Holy crap.
That's a lot of money for Brock Purdy.
I didn't think he was going to get anything close to this.
Really?
No.
That's just the nature of the beast. And here's the thing. He'll be making $53 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even top 5 paid quarterback in the NFL on an average annual salary.
Where does that put him?
7th.
Yikes.
Puts him behind Tua and even with Jared Goff. So when you put it in those terms, think of it that way. The way that the NFL's salary cap is going to be going up. We just talked about this yesterday. Was it $23 billion the league made last year? That number in 5 years could be upwards the projections. I mean, realistically, 30, 33.
Yeah.
And if you're paying your starting quarterback, that the numbers are just going to keep on going up, up, and up. He's behind Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa.
Who's behind him?
Jared Goff.
I mean, like who
Patrick Mahomes is behind him,
Yeah.
but Patrick Mahomes also
Earlier
signed
in 10 years.
$500 million deal to stay with the Kansas City Chiefs, to where they set that up to keep a window open,
Move money around.
move the money further and further down. So it's actually very smart, and that's how the window will stay open for the Chiefs, as hard as it's going to be. But it makes it so they can have a window to win championships, and then when Patrick Mahomes is long gone, they're going to be paying a hefty price tag for the greatness that this run and era of the Chiefs has been. But for a guy like Brock Purdy, I don't blame him one bit for wanting that money because of the fact that he got paid $3 million. He led that team to a Super Bowl as their quarterback and was getting paid less than a majority of the starting quarterbacks in the college football playoff were last year.
But you also don't pay a guy for what he's done. You pay a guy for what he can do. And I don't know if you should be paying Brock Purdy top 7 money. I wouldn't.
He is in a system that has been wildly successful. I think this says a lot about how Kyle Shanahan thinks of Brock Purdy.
Sure.
He has his limitations, and boy, we're going to see how different they look this year without Deebo Samuel, because every time Deebo gets hurt and he goes out of the lineup, they look a little clunky.
And McCaffrey's
but
certainly not getting any healthier.
It's because they lean on him so much game planning wise. Kyle Shanahan's had no issue moving on from quarterbacks in the past.
You're not wrong.
And so for him to say, no, this is going to be the guy, he's going to attach his wagon to Brock Purdy. It is a ton of money. And he has had some of the best, if not the best collection of weapons in the NFL over his time. But when you pay your quarterback $53 million, you're going to have to make tough choices in a lot of other places. And the 49ers have already been doing that. So he's going to have to carry it now. He's not perfect, and he's not a guy that you reset the market with, but they didn't. They didn't even come close to that.
No. What's Dak's number?
60.
And that's so much. And I don't like Dak. Dak's a better quarterback than Brock, but by a lot for me.
I don't think so.
Like it,
I wouldn't go
in
as
my
far.
in my
I
mind,
would not go as far as to say by a lot.
Dak should be getting Brock money, and Brock should be getting better than Geno Smith money.
He has won. He has been efficient. He has commanded a locker room and I think that's one of the most valuable things for an NFL quarterback is you step into a locker room that is a bunch of established dudes, and you come in as one of the last picks of the NFL draft.
And he earned it.
And you win that job. Yeah. And it's what he does between the ears that is way better than any of his physical traits.
Sure.
And that's where he's miles ahead of Dak Prescott.
I don't disagree in that.
And that is more than half the battle and when you get to the NFL and playing quarterback.
It's just very interesting the way that the 49ers have structured things, because they have been a team that has tried to avoid this and keep these windows. Like, this is a firm, kind of hard out on the window is the next 3 years, because salary structure wise, they can't do anything.
Yeah, no, but it was this, or you move on to another quarterback yet again. And Kyle Shanahan saying this is going to be our guy. Yikes, dog.
Because again, I don't think Brock's a bad quarterback at all. Don't take it for that. But if he's not the guy, you are looking at a rough couple of years if they have to make the reset.
I think they know that anyway.
That's fair.
Because they're in a transitionary period as it is. That's the hard part about the NFL.
And so at least have the quarterback under contract, because you can make the other changes around it. And then when he does come off in 3 years, if he's not the guy.
Well, and when you pay him during this portion of it, it can become more affordable. Look, $181 million is all that's guaranteed, which is a lot of money. I would like $181 million guaranteed.
With almost all of that guaranteed up front in the first 3 years.
But they are not guaranteeing $265 million of his deal. And so I think that does make a little bit more sense. And this goes back to what we've talked about so often with the way that teams handle their business, especially like the Cincinnati Bengals. You wait, and then all of a sudden you're not getting a value on a guy anymore. Here are the quarterbacks that are behind one Brock Purdy now. Justin Herbert on average annual salary. Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Baker Mayfield. Other than that, rookie scale guys that are going to be getting far more money when they are up. But that is where those are the guys that are behind him that you sit there and you go, yeah, they're better than Brock Purdy. Herbert, Hurts, Mahomes, Stafford, and Baker Mayfield. That's where he's at. I mean, I
take all those quarterbacks over Brock.
Well, absolutely.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But are you going to take the guys that are behind him now are Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson, and then you get to your rookie scale guys, which Caleb Williams, C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels, Drake May.
And we haven't talked about Carr retiring.
Did we need to?
No, but it was just like, all right, the shoulder's cooked, we're done.
Yeah.
I did read apparently his representative, they reached out to other teams and see if anybody was curious for a trade, and then he made the decision to retire.
The medicals came back. Nope, your shoulder's cooked.
Yeah. He's going to become a professional golfer now.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in the long run here, Purdy is getting that, and also he's younger than Stafford, who's in the back 40 of his career.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, who he had to prove it, man.
He did.
And he has in spades.
He's a damn good quarterback.
Baker Mayfield is an incredible quarterback.
No.
And I love watching Baker Mayfield play. I will take me some Brock Purdy over really all of those other guys.
The rest of the other guys, yeah. I mean, Deshaun Watson.
And that's the thing is that,
yeah, I mean, that's a different thing, but yeah.
When your deal comes up, you're the next man up. You know, I think it's more reasonable on his behalf because he was like, he didn't pull the Dak Prescott, which was give me all the money.
Fair.
Jordan Love is making more money than he is right now.
Yeah, I think Love's better.
Jordan Love is the second highest paid quarterback. He's on par with Burrow and Allen,
which was
and although it's only a couple $1 million, those couple $1 million,
that's the difference between a guy that matters in the NFL.
You're dang right it is.
The salary scales are so crazy when you're talking about like NFL versus NBA. Like, $3 million isn't that big deal. It's like, well, no, outside of the marquee positions, $3 million is like, that's a guy that's in your top rotation.
I wouldn't, and they didn't have to pay him the top dollar, but they knew they were going to have to give him top 10 money. His resume says yes.
Yeah,
everything about his resume. How are you going to justify not?
I'm probably picking at the scab here a little bit. The fact that he's 7th, where I would prefer to have him in that 10, 11, 12 range.
But that's not because he's not going to get that because the guys in the 10, 11, 12 range have outdated contracts now. And so that's the way that it works is that
the scaling is going up so much more year after year.
There is no way that they were going to get him for any cheaper.
Yeah.
Because that is how the game is played. Whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, they didn't make him the highest paid quarterback. And that was the biggest issue with Dak's deal with the Cowboys. Right? Was that they paid him the top dollar and reset the market. Nobody else was going to do that. Nobody else was going to do that. Somebody else would have come along and paid Brock Purdy that top 10 money. They would have done it.
Yeah, because there's always some team that needs it.
Desperation across the NFL happens all the time.
All right, coming up in the NBA here in the next segment, desperation for the Boston Celtics as they face an elimination against the Knicks tonight. We'll get that next here on Danny and Dusty, Tonight the Fan.
far, get you too far.
Second night in a row, team's back is up against the wall. Last night it was the Denver Nuggets. They forced Game 7. Tonight it's the Boston Celtics down 3-2 to the New York Knicks at MSG, taking on the Boston Celtics in an elimination game, obviously without Jason Tatum. Kristaps Porzingis is still battling whatever flu virus sickness he's got. Head coach Joe Mazzulla said after the game that it was not necessarily a performance thing, but it was more of a health thing and not a coaching situation, that Porzingis just couldn't breathe. And that's what actually led to Luke Cornett getting on the floor and having an incredible impact and limiting the New York Knicks in the paint, finishing, 7 blocks, 9 rebounds, 12 points in 26 minutes of play. He was absolutely incredible. I don't expect the Knicks to struggle as badly as they did from 2 last game tonight. I think that
Luke Cornett may have something else. That DDP block is going to do it,
right,
brother?
The Knicks shot 33% from 2. I believe it's 17 of 51 from 2 in the in Game 5.
It's not great, Bob.
Not great. They did shoot well from 3. They shot 40% from the 3-point line, 80% from the free throw line, getting up 40 free throws.
Yikes!
Which, holy shnikes! But
thank you, Tony Brothers.
yeah, I mean, in fact, I haven't looked yet. Let me pull up.
Who the officials are?
Referee assignments for tonight, because boy, will that tell you a lot.
Scott Foster.
James Capers, Tyler Ford, Ed Malloy, Tony Brothers in the replay booth. Ed Malloy loves to call him a foul that will disrupt a game.
All right, cool, man. We got it.
Oh, my God. It's just...
Do you see Joe Mazzulla's comment this morning
No.
at Shoot-Around? What do you think Joe Mazzulla said about the pressures of Game 6 in their season being on the line
They
tonight?
don't matter. They're imaginary. I'm going to go watch the town.
We're all going to be dead soon, and it really doesn't matter anymore, so there's zero pressure.
God, he's so predictable. He's so predictable. And no, anybody think I'm faking? I did not know what he said, but Joe Maz is about as predictable as it gets with that stuff.
We're all going to be dead soon.
That's like the 8th time he said
doesn't
some
matter
version
anymore.
of "we're going to be dead soon." We're all going to die, or we're not going to be here for long. And it's like, when you say it that much, you have to believe that he actually genuinely believes that.
And that's where I go, how in the world does he give a pregame speech to anybody in that locker room? Like, when he's like, what is he saying? Because this is just how he operates.
It's hard to see him being fiery. Weird, quirky, different, yeah. But fiery?
Yeah.
Like, can you see Joe Maz giving a fiery pregame speech?
No.
Going full Jim Valvano?
No, he's just going to be like, look, I don't see why you guys wouldn't play hard. I mean, you're going to be dead soon anyway, so, I mean, whatever.
None of this matters, but it all matters.
What I love about this game with both of these fan bases and both of these franchises, regardless of the outcome, there will be an obscene amount of panic. If the Celtics win this game,
the Knicks are
and they go back to Boston for Game 7, and it's, hey, we were up 3-1. We could afford to drop one in Boston in Game 5. Now we're going to be at home. We're back in the Garden.
Mm-hmm.
If they lose that game
You want to
tonight,
talk about actual pressure?
they are going to, the pucker factor is going to be the media, the fan base, the team, the organization. It's all going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
If Boston loses tonight,
It's
they get bounced in the conference semifinals. It's not just, we didn't have Tatum. There's going to be panic because it's like, what the hell do we do now? Because we don't have Jason Tatum next year.
I think the panic's already there.
We're already salary cap wise against it, and we knew we were going to have to make moves. Now we actually have to make wide ranging moves that keep us relevant, because next year the Celtics could be irrelevant as a franchise. They may be in the Bonsa's sweepstakes.
I had somebody tell me this is like the Warriors tanking, but when they got Harrison Barnes, and they just but this would be the Celtics version of doing that, except for they would end up with Cam Boozer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, no. They don't need another young Duke superstar gifted to them on a platter. Can we not do that?
That's how they're gonna do it.
Look, if the Boston Celtics somehow have a crap year next year and end up top 3 in the lottery, it's rigged. It's
going to happen.
I fully believe it's rigged at that point.
This year didn't do it for you?
No. But if that somehow happened, and God, I would be disgusted.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusted. Like, oh, here you go. We're going to keep this going. At that point in time, like, just sell it to Vince McMahon.
You know, the conspiracy theorists, they're going to have this one too, is like, well, there's a reason why they felt the need to rig the lottery this year is because they could make it as wide open and be like, hey, what do you mean we're rigging it for our big markets? Indiana is going to play Oklahoma City in the finals. Like, well, that's not big markets.
Yeah.
And I could see Adam Silver already saying that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, but for the next 20 years, I don't know, Dallas is going to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. You're like, well, look at the San Antonio Spurs, and I'm like, well, just because they made a blood offer, don't.
Yeah, man. I think all sports fans need to figure out what San Antonio has sacrificed.
What R.C. Buford did.
Yeah,
to make this happen,
because everybody's going to be willing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like those, it's been worth it.
If you told me you got 5 titles and multiple Hall of Famers out of it, yeah, I'd do it.
Yeah, those sacrifices work.
Yeah,
yeah,
in a heartbeat.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. Like,
I've done worse for less.
We're gonna find out whoever runs the company that does the lottery is like a big time Spurs fan. Like grew up in
Ernst and Young is like the 8th brother removed from R.C. Buford.
Yeah, like Ernst, who's probably went to college like in 1854, was like Greg Popovich's great grandpappy.
Yeah. Just a straight it's like a lineage. It's
like, damn.
I used to make moonshine with Ernie Young.
Yeah. And Johnny Hopkins used to come over and smoke with us.
Man.
For the love of God. All right, coming up next, it's Friday. It's 2:38, which means it's time for America's #1 game show. We'll get to that next, but here's the big Kahuna himself with Sports Center Update.
You ever had a big Kahuna burger?
This is a PGA Championship Week edition of Danny and Dusty.
Brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
This update brought to you by Laurelhurst Market Steakhouse and Butcher Shop, a great spot for any occasion. And don't forget, you save 10% on your Butcher Shop order when you dine in. Menus and more at laurelhurstmarket.com. First on The Fan, round 2 of the 107th PGA Championship from Quail Hollow in Charlotte. And at the top of the leaderboard is your first round leader, Jonathan Vegas. He shot a 1 under 70 today. That leaves him at 8 under overall. He's 2 strokes clear of Matthew Pavone, Alex Smalley, and Matt Fitzpatrick. Tied for 5th at 5 under par are Max Homa and Ryan Gerard. Among those tied for 7th at 4 under is Scotty Scheffler and Bryson DeChambeau, tied for 12th at 3 under par. And one game in the NBA playoffs tonight, Game 6 at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks can put away the Celtics. 5 o'clock tip on ESPN. The Knicks are 2.5-point favorites. Coming up on Sunday, it's Game 7 of the Nuggets and Thunder in Oklahoma City. 12:30 tip on ABC. We'll have coverage right here on The Fan beginning at noon. The Thunder are 7.5-point favorites. Some breaking news from within the last half hour or so in the NFL. Multiple reports say the 49ers and Brock Purdy have agreed to a 5-year, $265 million extension with $181 million guaranteed. On the diamond, the Mariners have lost 5 of their last 6. They start a 10-game trip with 3 in San Diego against the Padres. Logan Evans on the bump for Seattle. Stephen Kolek for San Diego. And in local news, Jesuit alum Mick Abel, the 15th pick in the 2020 draft, will make his MLB debut for the Phillies Sunday against the Pirates, opposite none other than Paul Skeens. Good luck, kid. Abel was called up when Aaron Nola was placed on the injured list. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Jump back to earlier parts of your favorite fan shows on the Odyssey app. The only way to rewind Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan.
It's Friday afternoon. It's 2:30-ish, which means it's time for Jeff Ross, America's #1 game show. Jeff Ross, take us away.
Do it.
Do it. Game 6 of the East semifinals tonight at Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks can eliminate the Celtics. Boston, of course, without Jason Tatum. He had surgery on his ruptured Achilles, suffered in Game 4. The Celtics, however, are still 2.5-point favorites. So, yeah. So the Knicks need to treat this like a Game 7 and not go back to Boston.
Or
No worries, they got 2 shots at this.
Oh, man, you got to treat this like a Game 7. You do not want to go back to the Boston Garden, the TD Garden, and see all those psychos who are going to be sitting there yelling, the Celtics are the Bulls the entire night.
I had to explain to my wife the Celtics are the Bulls, and she's like,
the Celtics are the balls.
I was like, it's Boston. Just go with it. No, you treat this like Game 7. You need this. And not only that, the Indiana Pacers are sitting there waiting. You don't want to have to play another game next week and then have short rest going into the Eastern Conference Finals. You need to get this game if you're the Knicks.
Game 7 would be Monday.
Finals, or the Eastern Conference Finals are slated to start on Wednesday.
Yeah, West on Tuesday.
On Sunday, the greatest 2 words in sports, Game 7. The Thunder hosting the Nuggets for the right to face the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. The Thunder are early 7.5-point favorites.
Oh, hey.
Who is the tougher matchup for the Timberwolves, the Nuggets
Or
the Thunder?
Yes.
This one's an easy one.
I think for me, the tougher matchup is the Thunder, in my opinion, for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Just because if they play Denver, especially with them banged up Michael Porter Jr., stopping downhill and Edwards is that much more difficult.
Not just that, for whatever reason, the Timberwolves just have the Nuggets number.
Were they 5-0?
I think they've won their last 7.
7?
Including the playoffs against the
dang.
Nuggets.
That's
and remember,
pretty
they beat the crap out of them last year in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Like, it was like, okay.
Okay.
What? Like, now, Jamal Murray looked like a shell of himself, which continued for basically 8 months, and he seems to have kind of found his groove finally.
Yep.
But there's some sort of voodoo that the Timberwolves have, and they have real size that they can put on Jokic. That's obviously a big factor in this. But the Thunder have just been a thorn in the side of the Timberwolves. So, yeah, it's very clearly the better matchup for them. For the Timberwolves is the Nuggets, but I'm going to pick the Nuggets to win.
No!
I think the Nuggets are going to pull this off, and
Chicky
the
nug nugs.
Thunder are going to have to figure some stuff out.
All right.
All right, we're going to move over to the NFL. The full 2025 schedule has been released, which means, of course, they calculated each team's strength of schedule. The reigning Super Bowl champion Eagles, the 4th toughest schedule, while the runner-up Chiefs have the 11th toughest. What is more likely? One of these 2 teams returns to the Super Bowl.
Or
We see 2 fresh teams in Super Bowl 60 at Levi's Stadium.
We see 2 fresh teams in the Super Bowl. Kansas City's O-line does have questions. The reality with NFL, too, is injury luck matters more than any of these sports where injury luck means so much. You look at a lot of these teams, as you get better, the NFL does not reward you. They make your schedule far more difficult. Have you seen the nugget on the Lions' schedule this year?
No.
So, days rest, the rest advantage.
Oh,
right?
yeah, okay.
Your Raiders have the worst
Shocking.
rest advantage. They have minus 19 days rest advantage.
Oh,
so over the
God.
course of the
Yeah.
season, how many more days does your opponent have rest than you? 19 days more rest for their opponents than the Raiders.
It's like 1.2 days per rest per week. That's brutal.
The Lions have the 5th largest in the last 25 years, plus 13 days rest advantage over their opponents this season.
2 weeks rest over an entire
The Lions play 8 games with more rest than their opponents this year. They only have 1 game with less rest
with
than their
negative.
opponent.
Do either the Raiders or the Lions have an international game?
I don't know the answer to that.
I haven't looked at the location for the Raiders games, but I would imagine.
I do not know the answer to
I
that.
think maybe the Lions do.
Do the Lions play the Vikings?
Overseas?
I know the Vikings play overseas 2 straight weeks.
And that's what may impact that in that regard. That's the only thing I'm thinking of. For something to be that large, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't really say
Okay.
here.
I just kind of
Let me check that.
spitballing, just because when you're talking about numbers that big, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, it's not good.
I mean, you're talking about -19 to +13. That's
a big swing.
I mean, that's 32 rest days.
Yeah.
That's that. I mean, it's a month,
basically-
dog.
I don't see either one of those teams, but those are just the European
That seems like that
games.
shouldn't be allowed to have that much disparity.
Yeah, I don't know.
32 days disparity.
That's a big difference,
That's
Bob.
that's like over the course of a season. That's enormous.
Your international games: Chiefs, Chargers, Vikings, Steelers, Vikings, Browns, Broncos, Jets, Rams, Jags, Falcons, Colts, Commanders, Dolphins.
So no for the Lions.
Okay.
And no for the Raiders.
Yeah.
All right. The Seahawks, meanwhile, tied for the 21st toughest schedule next season.
Oh, hey.
Tied with the Dolphins with an opponent win percentage of 474. With Sam Darnold as the new QB in town, Vegas has their over-under at 8.5 wins. So the 2025 Seattle Seahawks over
Or
under 8.5 wins.
I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna go under. Even with that schedule, there's just so much unproven there. There's very ample room and an opportunity to clear that over. It's not like the division is rocking. It's not this big behemoth. You have two teams that are getting much older, and the Seahawks are in a transitionary period. I could see them going over, but I think the safer bet here is the under.
I don't know what that offense is going to look like.
Yeah.
So that terrifies me. And so I'm going to go under.
When I say under, I'm not saying they're going to win 4 games. I think they're just going to
Nope.
win 7 or 8.
Yeah. Yeah. They could also go 9-8.
Yeah.
Or 10-7.
That's the
There's variance
realm
there.
that I see there.
And their finishing stretch is I don't know. Their finishing stretch starting in December: Falcons, Colts, Rams, Panthers, Niners.
Oh God, they could close the season strong as hell.
And right there is like, I don't know what the front half is going to look like offensively.
Yeah.
But if they finish strong, hell's yeah, they're going to win a lot of games.
The New York Football Giants have the league's toughest schedule, an opponent win percentage of 574. They, of course, drafted Jackson Dart in the first round of last month's drafts. Their over-under is 5.5 wins.
Woo.
So the front office will have patience with Brian Dable and Joe Shane with a new QB.
or
They'd better have at least a modicum of success early on.
This one's splitting hairs for me because the sliding bar for success. Let's say Jackson Dart goes out there and performs as an above-average rookie quarterback, but it doesn't necessarily translate to wins, but there's positive momentum going forward. I think you and me have the same mindset right now where maybe they would go into camp with Russ as the starter. I think as we've kind of progressed through in the way the Giants are pushing Jackson Dart, this sounds like Matt Flynn 2.0, where Russ is playing the role of Matt Flynn,
Yep.
and Jackson Dart is going to be your week 1 starter. That just seems to be the early vibe coming out of this. We'll know as we get more into training camp and the preseason goes through, but I think if they go out and let's say they hit the under, but they project forward, they get a little more leash.
No, they ain't going to have patience.
Okay.
They ain't going to have patience there. They need Jackson Dart and Brian Daboll to start performing and perform right away. People wanted their heads after last season.
You're not wrong.
They're going to want it on a platter if they don't start well. Final answer.
Alrighty, we'll get one more quick one in here. Aaron Rodgers, still floating around out there, probably high on ayahuasca or something.
Hey.
Hell yeah, bro.
Taking his time deciding where to sign. He's still linked with the Steelers here and there, whose current QB room is Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and Skylar Thompson.
Yikes.
After letting Russell Wilson and Justin Fields leave in free agency. What is more likely? Aaron Rodgers is the Steelers' starting quarterback week 1.
or
He signed somewhere after the start of the season.
Nah, we're going to see him before that.
Yeah.
We're going to see him before that. And I think we probably find out pretty soon. Yeah.
Let the
I don't
rookies
know
get in there and deal
what
with that. But
he's doing right now, but when veterans show up, we'll see him again.
didn't we hear he was throwing somewhere secretly with DK?
Yeah, in LA at
Yeah.
UCLA, at the University of California, Los Angeles.
I would imagine we hear. I mean, I don't think Art Rooney is going to go out there and say publicly, yeah, it sounds like Aaron's going to come here unless Aaron's going to go to the Steelers.
New Orleans off the table.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to deal with that mess.
No.
Winnable division.
You're not wrong, but that's a lot.
Brand
of mess.
new head coach. Not as good of an offensive line. There's a lot.
Yeah.
going on
No.
there,
Pittsburgh seems like a landing spot.
All right, that's all I got.
That's
Great
it.
job, bud.
Hey.
Fantastic. That is, of course, on Friday afternoons, 2:30-ish, America's #1 game show. Jeff Russ. Every Friday afternoon at 2:30-ish. All right, coming up next as we wrap up today's show. Well, ESPN is going to shove somebody else down our throats, whether we want it or not. We'll get to that next here on Danny Dusty, 10 the Fan.
Check
I don't know why. It escapes me. When everybody's clamoring for less Kendrick Perkins and less Stephen A. Smith, we seem to just keep getting more and more of them.
Yeah, I don't know. He just got that mega deal from ESPN, and this is not what anybody wants to hear. But it looks like he's going to be on NFL coverage for ESPN now.
And why?
I don't know.
It's very rude and it's very nasty.
I have no idea why. Because his background is the NBA.
Yes.
That's where he rose to prominence as a columnist for the Philadelphia Inquirer. He does their NBA countdown, which whatever. He's actually knowledgeable about the NBA. The Stephen A. Smith hiccups and missteps are all NFL related.
Yeah. Who was it? He had somebody that hadn't been on a team for 2 years.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It was somebody that was like a wide receiver or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly.
He's
what
like,
you're
well, he's got
talking
this
about,
guy
but
and this guy, and it's like everybody's on the desk is like,
I don't think they do.
that's the thing. Like when you're on a national level, there's a reason why you don't do multiple sports.
When you'd be stunned at the level of information that they are handed to them to talk about.
Yeah.
Exactly what is going to be.
You're doing pre-production meetings where you know every single thing that's going to be said.
I mean, there's multiple people researching things for you.
We
don't have those people
No,
here.
ESPN has.
Russ does a great job for us.
They have a stats and research division that like compiles all of the notes and gives them all of their talking points, and they go in at 4:00 in the morning and do show prep, and it's like those kind of gaffes and stuff like that. It's like when you cover a sport on a national level like that, you have to be so deep into everything and so across the board. Doing multiple sports is impossible.
Yeah, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe it's just because they want somebody to needle the Cowboys because it works for them ratings wise.
I guess.
My bad.
I really don't. But apparently he may be more prominent on their NFL shows. Now, that doesn't mean that he'll be like on NFL Live.
Yeah.
But they're going to have a Super Bowl in 2027.
Mm-hmm.
And that coverage, like, they want to ramp up for that.
Of course, this is the springboard for Stephen A. Smith for president.
Oh, man. And, like, we got the announcement that Chris Berman is going to be around for the coverage.
Yeah.
And that Boomer is old, but I love it.
More Boom is great.
And he is an NFL guy, though,
Yes.
and he still follows the National Football League.
And he'll be the first ESPN employee if he makes it through to 2028, I think is what it was. It was 28 or 29.
29.
To cover 50 years.
Holy smokes, that's cool.
Because he joined like just a few weeks into ESPN's run.
In 78 or
79.
Yeah.
Just give us quality content. The debate show stuff, no.
I can't remember the last time I watched it.
I don't, and honestly, I don't know who does.
Yeah, I just
like
give me old Sports Center with
Yeah.
the ticker on the side of like what's coming next. Like, look,
they have like a throwback Sports Center, like ESPN News becomes ESPN Throwback, where it's like, oh, it's actually just
park SVP on there
reporting.
for 8 hours.
Get out of town.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it to you, SVP. I love you, but like just like the whole pivot away from personality, and then they pivoted back into personality that didn't have the substance. Like Stephen A., I don't have anything against him. He's not my particular cup of tea, but when he was in smaller doses, it was fine. But now it's like on every single show, it's Get Up, it's NFL, it's NFL pregame, it's NBA pregame, postgame, halftime. It's like it's just Stephen A., Stephen A., Stephen A., Stephen A., Stephen A.
But they're justifying how much money they pay him, which is a lot of money. Brings it in.
Yeah.
Oh, texters are right. It was Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry was the guy. He was like, he's on the Chargers, and everybody's like, dude, he's been on the Patriots for 2 years.
And it was like,
what the hell is going on?
You have the notes in front of you, dog. And look, we all make mistakes. When you talk for a living, it just happens. But it's like, those are the kind of things, especially when you're on that platform, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah. All right. Well,
just picturing Stephen A. like aunt, I forget what her name is in Christmas Vacation, but is Rusty still in the Navy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Grace died 20 years ago. Yep. Yeah, well.
Ellen, are you still dating Clock?
Oh, it's a cat. There's a cat in the box.
All right. Well, that does it for us today. This week. We'll be back next week.
We will. You won't be.
I will be.
You're not here Monday.
Just not Monday.
Yeah.
I won't be here on Monday. But hopefully I make it through the 5K.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a long ways to run.
We need you got to get some video. You got to get some social content.
There's not going to be any video
Come
of
on
that,
now.
dude. Yeah, maybe
strap
me
the
just
GoPro to your chest.
Make sure you don't let those nipples chafe too much.
Yeah. You know, if I get nipple chafage after 5K, we got bigger problems.
We need a pre and a post race photo.
Yeah, we can get that.
Okay.
We can get that. Yeah. All right. Everybody have a great weekend. Up next, 4 hours of power from their mouths to your ears. It's an SOB edition of Primetime with Sook, Ortner, and Buck right here on The Fan.
Bye.
Your home, your savings, your children.